One of the things I noticed in leading up to this call with you is you're using video yourself on your own LinkedIn when you're talking about open roles at the company. And we talked about this a little bit before, but I think it's
Mhm.
just a great way for people to see you, see a person from the talent acquisition team, hear how you talk about the open roles, how you talk about the company, but more importantly, just put a face to the name and make an authentic asynchronous connection. When did
Yeah.
you start doing that and what like drove you to start taking that initiative?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Actually, I've always been a little bit active on LinkedIn. I don't have a TikTok. I'm not super active on social media, just in my personal life in general. But I noticed if I'm going to be really going all in on recruiting, I should figure out this LinkedIn thing. And so I really started posting, kind of sharing, making connections with people. And then because we use LinkedIn so heavily with Semperis, with our recruiting, I got invited to the LinkedIn Talent Connect conferences. And each time I've gone, I've learned a few different things. And the power of video is a consistent theme that comes up all the time. And I did start to think we're always doing video chats for every single interview, and video is really not that big of a deal. I'm sitting here in my home office, just like doing it on my computer right now. That's super easy. And so I started trying it out and giving people a taste of, what it would be like to interview with us. I thought that that's kind of what I was doing. That's the point. I'm not trying to be everybody's recruiter or be like this big thought leader or something. My job is to recruit for Semperis. And so I thought I'll tell people what it's like to work at Semperis. It was really that simple. And that's kind of like why I started.
Yep, I think it's great. And look, like you obviously are putting new roles out there and you're trying to reach new candidates, but also
Yeah.
there's an effect of there's previous candidates that you guys have connected with during previous hiring processes. There's previous candidates that are following you or following your company just by the nature of connecting with you guys on
Mhm.
LinkedIn at some point historically. And so by you putting this content out there in such an authentic way, you're in essence pulling some of these candidates back in because they'll see those impressions on their feed just
Right.
by the nature of being connected or following you. So I imagine there's not only some pull effect of new candidates and a great way to send a video to somebody that's applying for a role so they can get to know you maybe before they talk to you or a member of your team, but also there's an effect of pulling back in people that you guys had previously engaged with just because you're putting yourself out there. And I think really that's like a lesson for everybody is to
Mhm.
your point, hey, if we're going to do this recruiting thing, if we're going to be all in on hiring, if we have to grow the way that we're expected to grow by the business, then we have to be all in as a recruiting team. And we have to be putting ourselves out there and doing everything we can
Yeah.
to be making these authentic connections with candidates so we can position ourselves as an employer of choice, but also just make sure people know about who we are and what we have to offer because there's just so much noise in the job market.